Welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you so much for joining us today on our second anniversary commemorating the start of our Continuing the Race Conversation series. We are so excited, though we are disappointed for the reason and the start of this community. We are filled with joy and honor and gratitude for all of you who show up every week, who share supportive words, who just are part of this amazing community. And so thank you. We, really quickly, so I'm Suman Kapoor, CEO of Well Balanced Solutions. I'm a professional development consultant working with organizations who are trying to develop their teams, but I really work on the lens of a DEI consultant. Oof, that was a mouthful. Tiffany.
That's because you're so amazing and you're my wonderful co-host. So I always describe it as loving doing life and business with you. I'm Tiffany Castano. I'm CEO and founder of Zephyr LLC. That is an acronym for Cultivating the Evolution of Professional HR. So I'm an HR consultant by day, and I love to do that. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yes. So Tiffany and I have put together just a short recording that kind of gives a sense of how we started this community. And so we're going to share that. It's about 5 minutes long. So take a moment, and then we've got other activities as the day goes on. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for rocking it with us. We are so excited to have you all here to help us grow, just help us become better people for the community and for our families. So thank you. Just a moment here as we pull stuff up. Yay. Oh, we've got international friends here today.
All right.
So Tiffany, I'd love if you can share with the community how we came together and launched the Continuing the Race Conversation series.
Yes, thank you for that invitation, Suman. I love to talk about this. I want to start by acknowledging that it's been 2 years since George Floyd's murder on May 25th of 2020. And that's really what brought us together as individuals. We were worried about the situation. How are people coming into the workplace? Wondering if they had the tools, wondering if they were going to come into an environment where it's business as usual. We also individually were reflecting and moving through this on our own. And so through checking on each other, we decided to be a mechanism to offer this for other folks, to create this safe space where people could have to discuss these topics that are tough often. And we were inspired to invite anyone who's open-minded, who's willing to join, because we both share the value of community and inclusivity. And we continue to believe that change cannot happen with only like-minded people. We need different perspectives, and that makes for deeper dialogue and understanding. We know that these conversations are often hard to come into, and we've started the series to have a place for people to do so. We recognize that this work needs allies too, and we want them to have a space as well. Suman, would you like to tell us about why calls to action are so important in this work?
Absolutely, and thank you for asking that question. Over the last year, this past year, we really worked hard to move from talking about theory, talking about what DEIB, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging means. We talked so much, and this year we focused on conversations about how we take that information and move it into action in ways that we can bring change, impact change in our organizations, in our community, because these calls to action really empower us to make those impacts and to be influence change. And so that's really what this last year we focused a lot on, is talking about the calls to action.
Thanks, Suman. I want to kind of pivot us into what have we learned from doing this work and how it's impacted our hopes for this series. Do you want to share first?
I will, thank you. We learned a lot. We are continuing to learn so much, right? What we're finding out is the psychological safe space that we are building is so needed. we're hearing from our community members that typically, and a lot of times, this space is maybe one of the only spaces where they can, as I like to say, take off their capes and take a deep breath and really show up genuinely as they want to be that particular day. So continuing to build that psychological safe space is really important for the work that we do. We are finding that open-minded, inviting people who are open-minded, who are ready to learn, who are ready to hear different perspectives is really powerful. And this is the mindset that we need in order to enter these conversations. So we encourage anyone who is open-minded, who's ready to hear different perspectives, to come and join the conversation. Part of, again, why we don't limit who joins us, because those are important qualities. And it makes for great conversation. It really makes for digging deeper into the history of why we think certain ways, which then can help us change how we think and influence how we think, and then taking that information into the workplace and into our communities. Tiffany, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Yeah, oh wow, thank you, Suman. That's so powerful. And we love having these powerful conversations. We love and we celebrate being a space where people might not have another opportunity to do that. And that is the case sometimes, but it's a space where we really brainstorm solutions. We talk through people's workplace challenges. So many wonderful things happen. Sometimes it's people trying to navigate something with their family or with a friend. There are so many examples that we can't even get into here, but you can come and join us and share and listen and learn and observe too. We recognize too that there is a social and emotional response to this work. A lot of it is very emotional. We know how important self-care is in this too. We believe in allowing people to be met where they're at on their journey because of the social response. And so Suman talked about the theories and putting those into action, but we also meet people where they're at from a social, what is society saying and what do they need emotionally to be fulfilled on their journey? And so it's been a great space for us to really allow and explore together with each other as well as with the community. And we're very grateful for that.
Yes, we are. Thanks, Tiffany, for being my co-host, my partner, and my friend.
Likewise. We'll see you soon. Thank you all for being on this journey with us.
Thank you. Yes, it was every year we get the opportunity, we reflect every day, but every year around this time, we take even more time to reflect and appreciate everything that everyone brings to this community. One of the things that we thought would be kind of fun to see is sort of this, we put together a word cloud about the top 10 conversations that we've had over the last 2 years. And so I think Tiffany can share that screen, but it was really, as we sort of started going through what we've done over the last 2 years, just the topics were just so powerful. When you read these topics and the guest speakers that we had, just phenomenal. And we're hoping to get back to inviting some guest speakers to come and join us again. But you'll see from this, we have conversations around so many issues that affect racism, systemic racism, DEIB, workplace, families. There's so much that happens. We had the opportunity to walk down memory lane as we sort of picked through these videos to see some of the topics that we've shared in the past.
Thanks, Suman.
Oh, I think I did your part, Tiffany.
No, that's okay. No, I had the sharing part. You did a great job at that. And you probably noticed too, when we talked about in the video that we kicked off with today, the social and emotional piece that we talked about. And so you saw words like grateful and smile, and we've remembered to walk that journey too all this time. And that's so important. And we've been very intentional as a group. So shout out to this community for saying, we talk about such heavy topics. I really want us to remember to celebrate ourselves, to take those breaks when we need to have self-care. And so that has been an evolution, and it has stemmed from your feedback and from all of you. And so I'm just so proud. Suma and I are so proud of that. So we'd love to take some time too now. We have mentimeter.com. Suman, can you pop in the link and the code? And we have some reflections that some of you have shared. And we also have a little quick activity, and then we have even something more in depth for you all. So definitely just want to invite you to share some thoughts. And I will pull this up and share my screen.
Yep, so just dropped the link and the code. And
Yeah,
if you
so
just go there, yep, sorry, go on.
No, you're fine. We can do this. You can do it on your phone or your computer browser. So you can pull that up, and I will share my screen so we can watch them all come in. Yeah.
We really were.
We worked hard on it. Now, can you see how has the community impacted you? Obviously, you see it. I'm like, there we go. All right, we're back in this.
Yep, it's good to go.
There we go.
I love these.
And when you're talking about the community, you're talking about this community, right?
Yes, this space.
Yes,
Thank you for the
this space.
clarification.
These are so great. Accelerated my learning.
Yeah, very powerful. Thank you all for sharing. They're rolling in. We love Mentimeter because it's very interactive, and that way if people don't want to share it, either coming off mic or some of you share some words that we will share later. This really gives an opportunity for folks to be able to do so. Oh, such great things you're sharing.
Oh, this is great. Safe space to have sensitive conversations that are difficult to have elsewhere. It's very come as you are space, physically, mentally, and fashion-wise too.
I love that. We do discuss lots of these things here. Come as you are. Yes, we will meet you wherever you are. I love it. I was just emailing, Jamie and I were emailing about bracelets. Jamie, I forgot to wear it today, but at least you know where to get those now. I love belonging, understanding, safety, warmth, and hope. Wow, does that not warm you up? I love it.
These are fantastic. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. These are so great. I love every single one of these.
Yeah, keep them rolling in. We'll share this with you later too as part of the commemoration. So whatever comes in later, you'll still be able to vote and put those in. And we do have one reflection that we'd like to read. Do you want to take care of that, Suman?
Yes. Let me grab that link. Let's see how technology works on this one today. This should be good, I hope. Yes. Give me 1 second. So we had asked community members to share with us either recording or something in writing about what this community means to them. And so I want to share. Oh, I'm going to wait for the commercial to go through. This was on YouTube. So let this finish through. Oh my gosh. I've got all these commercials. Technology is not our friend today, I'll tell you that. I got Top Gun playing over here. Okay, here we go. Let me share. Y'all are being so patient. Thank you. Okay, this is from our dear friend, Holly.
My name is Holly Mangrum Willis. I am a senior program manager for One in Tech, an ISACA foundation that seeks to diversify and sustain the pipeline into cybersecurity. by reaching untapped and underrepresented and marginalized communities to provide opportunities. So naturally, you can see why I was drawn to and continue to be a member of the Continuing the Race Conversation community. I was invited to join by Tiffany about 9 months ago, and it was one of the best professional and personal decisions I have ever made. The last 9 months have been extremely challenging for me personally and professionally. And I don't think I would have made it this far, that I would have made it this fast without the honesty and vulnerability and safe space that is provided by this community that Tiffany and Suman have created, and that continues to be cultivated by like-minded folks from all around the world. It's such an amazing wealth of knowledge and resources and perspectives. And there's never a time, even when I'm just a passive listener, there's never a time where I leave and don't learn something that I can immediately apply to my life, to my career, and to my future. And having a resource like that, being a member of a community like that, it's invaluable. And I can't imagine where I would be had I not been introduced to this group. Tiffany, Suman, thank you. Thank you so much for creating this space and for keeping it going. Congratulations on 2 years, and I am so happy that it continues to be robust and beneficial, and I hope that it remains so. I know that it will remain so for years to come if I have anything to say about it, because I can't see myself putting this group to the back burner. It is just been an amazing community to be a part of. And if I can do my part to extend that branch and open this community to someone else who may be in need, then I am right there, ready, willing, and ready to do it. And I thank you. Thank you so very much. Again, congratulations. Happy 2 years. Here's to many more. Cheers to you.
So I had not watched this video. She sent it, and I said, I'm going to wait to watch it with everyone else. Holly, where are you on my screen? Girl, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. First, your smile. I think I emailed that to you. Your smile is so beautiful, so radiant, so inviting. Thank you. Always smile. But those words, wow. Thank you.
And if I may add, thank you to everyone here and those who cannot join us today. You all are a part of this community, and I couldn't have made it without you. I've had several personal meetings with folks here represented on this screen, and had collaborated with a few members, including Tiffany and Suman and Aubrey. It's just been a wild 9 months, and my boss is still trying to figure out how I've accomplished so much. It's this group right here. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, that's part of this community. That's part of why we build a community. And as we're growing, that is the impact that we want to have, is not only here on a Friday afternoon, but outside. How can we support each other? How can we just help each other through whatever we're going through in the workplace and personal, build those relationships, right? We talk about how important relationship building is, and we've got some great stories that people share with us. Even on Fridays, they come in, we brainstorm, and things happen behind the scenes. It's magic. This group is magic. Tiffany.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Holly, for that video, and to you all for being here. And so, speaking of this community and how we pour into each other and how wonderful, we do have both Nikolai and Alex here with us today. And I will let them introduce themselves, but they are co-founders, partners, business partners of Olay, and Suman and I both had the opportunity to be a part of their monthly social journaling. We join whenever we can. It's part of my own self-care. So we do have them with us today. And as I shared, we have been so proud that this has been a part of the community in terms of self-care reflection. So I will turn it over to Nikolai and Alex to introduce themselves and talk more about Olay now that I could get that out. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Tiffany, Suman, for having us. I'm Nikolai, Alex right here. Yeah, we're the team at Olay, and our whole mission is to just change the way that we connect with ourselves, with the people around us, and the communities that we're a part of. And so we were just really excited to come and share some of our work with you all here today. We're going to be doing some social journaling. Don't worry. Don't run away. It's not intimidating. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's really just a process to connect. And so we look forward to guiding you today through a couple of prompts and explore some things together that we talked about with Tiffany and Suman. So again, thanks for having us, and for the community. We've been a part of this community for several years. So it's been just wonderful to see and to personally be transformed as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Alex, is there anything else that you'd like to say before we jump in? Awesome. Well, before we get started, we always have a couple of house asks. The first one is to show up, not show off. And this is really just a time to just lead with who you are as a human first. Although there's time for titles and accomplishments, we ask that you first show up as a human and let that come up naturally whenever the time is right. The second one is heart first. And we just ask that during this time that we have together, it's not a time to reflect. It's not a time to give advice. It's not a time to respond to what people are saying. It's a time to just share what's on your heart first and foremost. And then the third one is sharing is our currency. So whether you're sharing a word, you're sharing a phrase, or you're just sharing a thought or a feeling, or maybe you're sharing you disagree or you don't know, that's a way that we keep the conversation going and how we build more community, deeper community.
Thanks, Nikolai. So as we were asked to kind of create some reflection prompts and a space here today, we just were looking for common themes in the last several gatherings that we've had every single Friday. And something that really came up so often was around, what can I do? With so much happening in the world, it was overwhelming, to say the least. And so I think in these periods, so much of us are asked to be reactionary because we're like, oh my gosh, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, what can I do? And so we really wanted to ground in this space of reflection to sit with that for ourselves and kind of find a little bit of clarity within us about what can be our call to action, especially commemorating like this anniversary, thinking about like how have I been involved in this community and how do I want to step forward next? And so the first thing we'd like to share, we love to share the wisdom of other people. And so there's these words by Sonia Renee Taylor, and I'll go ahead and read them aloud as you can read with me as well. Contrary to purpose, natural intelligence does not require we do anything to achieve it. Natural intelligence imbues us with all we need at this exact moment to manifest the highest form of ourselves. And we don't have to figure out how to get there. We arrived on this planet with the source material already present. And so we share these words to have each of us think about like, what is our natural intelligence? Like, what are our gifts? Because a lot of time when challenges and obstacles come up and we're like, oh my gosh, what can I do? It is first tapping into ourselves and asking, well, what can I do? Like, what are the gifts that I have in my possession that I can contribute to help all of us move forward together? So with that, we just want to leave some space for us to reflect on that. And so we have this prompt here. As Nikolai mentioned, we are going to enter into some journaling. So whatever journaling looks like for you, whether that's writing it down, typing it out, closing your eyes, kind of just sitting with your inner landscape, focusing on your breath. But for the next 5 minutes, we'd like to ask ourselves this question, which is, what is your natural intelligence? What are the unique gifts you have and that you would like to contribute? So we're going to go ahead and give everyone some time to reflect. Happy writing.
if you would like to begin to wrap up your last thoughts, come back together. We're going to go into our breakout rooms, and this is the time to share maybe something that you journaled about. Maybe some people would like to share part of what they journaled or what they're feeling after they journaled. And again, with our second house asked of heart first, this is a time to listen generously, to take it in and not respond or react or fix anything. So we're going to go into our first round of breakouts, and then we'll see you in a little bit. There should also be a join breakout button. We would love to hear from you, whether in the chat, as well as if you'd like to raise your hand or just unmute yourself. We would love to hear anything that came up, whether it was in your reflection time, or if it was something that came up in conversation or something that you heard from someone else that you'd like to share. We'd like to open up the space for some community wisdom sharing. One thing that I will share that came up in our conversation or my reflection time, as I was going and thinking about my gifts, I just started listing a whole bunch of things. And then about halfway through, the thought just came, or the paraphrasing of, what did I come here with? And for some reason, that reframe was so much easier, more clear to see the things that I came here with versus the things that were put on me, or the expectations, or the roles I had to play, or the family dynamics, or the upbringing. And so I just wanted to share that, even in my own reflection time and sharing that reframe of what did I come here with was just a quick, easier way for me to get to the core. Enough about me. I'd like to open up the floor. Please share in the chat, as well as the floor is open to share what came up in the conversation or in reflection time.
Okay, I'll break the ice. First off, I think this is just awesome. It's an awesome experience, because then you get the chance to collaborate and understand and listen to what other people's hearts are saying, specifically what's going on. One of the things I wrote was passion and compassion, being what I bring, my natural intelligence. And I broke it, and I shared, because I'm just recently retired from active duty military after serving ultimately 27 active federal, and I'm getting ready to go back into teaching. And so I said passion, and I broke it into an acronym: perseverance, an anointing, selflessness, meaning selfless service, then a selfishness, meaning investing in myself, the importance of investing. A foolish person will not invest in themselves. You can't give away something you don't have. And so it's important for us to take the time to invest in ourselves. I often say it's, you light other torches. You don't pass the torch because you still need light for yourself. And so you light other torches who will then ignite the future and ignite other people. Then inspiration, having the inspiration to be who you are, and then the objectiveness, meaning that you have an analytical perspective. You don't have a bias to the extent, or you recognize your bias, but then you allow objective thinking to listen to other people, and having a negotiation or a negotiated perspective, meaning that you know how to do conflict resolution. You're not always the smartest person in the room. You don't always have to be right. And often I say, if the motive is to get to the truth, if I'm wrong, then that's okay, because the focal point and the motive is to get to truth. And for us, compassion, caring, having an ontological perspective to where you change the atmosphere because of the fact that you have that caring nature, that you desire to see the best in the authenticness of people. Management skills, of course, I've learned that over the years, being a commissioned officer and having to manage a whole bunch of other things. But then praise, meaning that you know how to praise other people, but then you also know how to receive praise, in the sense that, and you don't allow it to give you the big head, but you keep things in perspective. You understand the awesomeness, who, and I personally believe, who God created you to be. You have analysis, meaning that you're able to look at things. You know, I often say, while amateurs amateurs play marbles, while I play chess, professionals play chess, meaning, are you able to think past where you're at, and so forth. Having a sacrificial type of perspective, meaning that you're able to sacrifice your time, give to people with no perspective that they're going to give back to you. Having a sensibility, the initiative, having the objectiveness, and then having negotiation. So looking at passion as an acronym, as well as compassion, and then lining those things up. And that's what I got out of it.
And can we let the church say, amen?
We do like to pass the collection plate in here.
Cash App is going around. $ John Howard. Cash App is going around. Appreciate that.
Yes,
Frank.
Frank, go ahead.
Okay, hi everybody. Happy Friday and happy anniversary to everybody, and also our lovely co-hosts, or hosts, Tiffany and Shimon. What I got from it, I have in basically 2 words, or maybe 3 words to say the least. The first set of words really was being truthful, which I know is very broad, but it also can be being truthful to yourself, to others, or just to your essence, being truthful in general. Your truth is different from somebody else's truth. So it's really just being truthful in general. And the second word that I have came out of this was justice, that we all kind of talked about in our group. And justice also goes with being fair, but justice for everybody. For example, it can be justice between 2 children playing on a playground, one doing the right thing, helping the other one. It can be you saying hi to your neighbor, making their day. So you're doing justice by trying to be there for somebody else. So really, I know they're very broad words, but for me, they kind of encompass many different things, which were what I got from our chat, which is those 2 things, which is this, truthfulness and justice. That's it.
Real quick, I was in Frank's group, and one of the connections that I made that I had never really spoken to, but one thing that jumped out, seeing uncommon beauty and potential is one of my unique gifts.
Carl, I see your hand up if you'd like to share.
First, I like to come off of mute first. Unlike that, I have been for about 2+ years now. I've been in this spectrum of where you can't talk and no one can hear you if you're on mute, right? That's the first thing. But I appreciate this room and give honor, and it's exactly where I'm going with this. I give honor to Tiffany and Suman for creating such a dynamic space as this. Also give honor to Nikolai and Alex for that tremendous, amazing exercise. It's something that needs to be incorporated in every single day, not particular times, but you need to put that in your day with something like lunch, something like stand away and walk away from your desk looking at these computers all day. But my natural intelligence is discernment, and it's God gift through understanding. And with that, it gives me the ability to hear with the heart and not with the ears. And that's what I love that. And I do that through how I listen to people, because people need to be heard. And the sense of what we have with conversation is that we only need to hear from people what we need to take from them. And that's how we got it all backwards as far as what listening is supposed to be about. So I like this room because I hear a lot of things with people's heart that they're speaking through the way that they know how to articulate it. And that's what's really about the strength of this room to me, and something that I always appreciate. And my quality is just that listening. John, I do want a copy of that list that you provided, because there were some things on there that I could really use. And I'll send you a affiliate link when I have my clients utilize some of that. But there's things in there that you said that really the reason of this room is the vulnerability piece. We all have come to a place where we understand that there are things that we need to talk about, that we need to be honest with, that Frank mentioned about that truth. What is that truth looks like for us? And that's what I get from this room, and even more so from this exercise, because it allowed me to sit with myself and see how self was, And if self wasn't okay, be honest with self, so self can be okay. And I think this is some of the things that this room provides. And I'm hoping and praying, and I'm definitely believing that as we leave these rooms on these Fridays, we're taking these and incorporating these kinds of things into those that are not in these rooms, that need to feel what we feel, which is love. That's what I feel every Friday from this room, is love. The love of those who don't know me, the love of those who only see me on Friday, the love of those who may see my posts or see my videos. But it's the genuine love that I walk away from in this room every week that keeps me at a point and place to say, I must return. I must fight. I must continue. And I appreciate you guys for letting me have the space, the time, and the energy to continue on. Thank you.
Thank you all for sharing. There'll be time at the end. We'll stay on a little bit longer and would love to continue the conversation offline as well. But we'd like to just share one more thing before we hand it back over to Tiffany and Suman. We like to, when we're talking about these topics, we'd like to leave a quote by Lindsay Young, where they say that resistance is not a one-lane highway. Maybe your lane is protesting. Maybe your lane is organizing. Maybe your lane is counseling. Maybe your lane is art activism. Maybe your lane is surviving the day. Do not feel guilty for not occupying every lane. We need them all. And I'll add the caveat that maybe your lane is practicing your gift. We're not here to do everything. We're here to do what we are called here to do and exercise our gift that is only uniquely ours. So with that, thank you so much for having us and for letting us join you all. Thank you, Tiffany and Suman, for inviting us and letting us share our gift of social journaling and what we do and what we love. Alex, I'm going to hand it off to you if there's anything else you'd like to say.
Nikolai, I'm surprised you didn't say this, but Nikolai always says, like, don't do life alone. Like, we are here to partner. We are here to collaborate. We stand here together in community. And so at some point, we would all love to hear each and every single one of our gifts to see how can we come together? Like, how can we collaborate? Like, how can we move towards this dream and this vision that we all share? So thank you so much for your time, and handing back the mic to you, Suman and Tiffany.
Wow. Well, thank you. I mean, what an honor to have Nikolai and Alex be a part of today in such a special way. Thank you for leading us in that amazing exercise. And thank you for being a friend, not only to the series, but to Tiffany and I personally. We appreciate the two of you. I'm going to cry. We appreciate the two of you more than words can ever say. You are really good people. Everyone here is good people. But thank you so much for sharing your amazing gifts with us today, for allowing us to take a little piece of you with us and put it in our hearts and hold it there. Everyone, if you have the opportunity, they do this every Monday, not every Monday, the last Monday of the month. There's a link in there. We will make sure when we send out our thank you emails to include the link to their last Mondays. It's amazing. I work not really good at keeping it, but it's on my calendar every Monday, and I do the best that I can to be there because it really is an amazing opportunity. To do this once a month at a minimum is powerful. So thank you to both of you. Love you both to bits. Tiffany, before I keep crying, anything else?
What more could I add? But yes, just a very special space. And to the point, Stacey's here today, and she and I, if one of us miss, like, we've been exchanging. 1 week she was gonna not be there, and I was like, oh, well, I'll just like send it to you. And so just another beautiful community. And I just put in the chat, like, really, they have excellent music taste. So that's always really good too, if you need an extra incentive to be there. But wow, just thank you so much for your friendship and for gifting us this to the community today. Oh.
All right, so we wanted to share another sort of not testimonial, but a message from one of our community members. Unfortunately, she had to hop off, but Marquita shared something that she asked if we would read out to the community. So I'm going to read what she wrote to us. She says, I cannot thank you and Tiffany enough for being active thought leaders to organize this community, continuing the race conversation, which delivers individuals a safe environment to respectfully utilize their voice and be heard. It never fails for the weekly calls to be lit in the chat with a variety of real-time expressions, thoughts, and resource sharing that goes on in the little white box. It's like reading chat message length anthologies from several different people at one time. It's something I look forward to every Friday morning for me on the West Coast. Congrats on 2 years of being in the race. Thank you, Marquita, for sharing with us how we've impacted you. You have impacted this community. You have led many thought-provoking questions. You have really helped us think through things and to support you on your journey. Tiffany, anything else you'd like to add?
Not to that specifically. We know that Cindy also was hoping that she could be here today, and she is kind of in between a couple things, and she's actually going to be traveling. So I wanted to just share that she was hoping to record a video, but about what the group has given her, but she said it's been a safe and welcoming place to be fully herself and express her repressed feelings. So just thank you, Cindy. Thank you all for all your reflections and for sharing. We're just so grateful that you spend your time here, whether you have 5 minutes, whether it's once a month or you've only been once, it doesn't matter. What matters is you're here and you're here for that impact. And it's very important to us to have that space to continue creating this space and helping you feel safe within it. So that's kind of our jobs, and that's, you know, the rest, I feel like you all contribute even more to what this is. So thank you so much. I think, you know, at this point, is there anyone else who wants to maybe share anything? You can either share in the chat. I see that's lit up as always. Thank you. Or please feel free to raise your hand and or on mic and share a little reflection about what this community has meant to you or how it's impacted you.
I see you, Holly.
So I'll dig in more personally because my recorded reflection was more general. And hands down, this group told me that it wasn't my fault. Time and again, week after week of complaints and tears and issues. And every week, this group built me up, set me up to make it another week, gave me the tools to say the things that I needed to say, helped me to understand what my strengths were and how much of a gift they were, and to take responsibility for the things that were mine, but also not take responsibility for the things that didn't belong to me. And it empowers me to be more hopeful instead of fearful of my next big thing. So thank you, and thank you.
Oh, Holly, thank you for letting us all be here for you and for expressing your vulnerability and just for feeling safe enough to do so. I always say we don't, we don't ask, you probably heard the phrase, we don't ask, we don't get. If we don't share, people can't pour into us at the level that we need to. And just, it has been a gift watching your journey, and just this woman, I tell you too, she pours so much into everyone else for everything that she goes through and has shared, has really poured into all of us too. And I know you've made some very deep connections here, Holly, which we're very grateful for as well. All of you have, and it's really nice to see. Anyone else want to share? Well, I try to keep these tears back.
I'll share.
I saw Nancy and Christian's hands literally go up at the same time.
It's hard to keep
So
track of.
how about Nancy, Christian, and then Stacy?
Okay, so this is just a little bit of a self-reflection slash furthering my goals or something and sharing it with you to hold me accountable a little bit, maybe. I've been pretty regular with the group for about 1.5 years of the 2 years. And most of you know that I can go months without saying a thing, just kind of listening and taking it all in. And my heart's pounding right now because you also probably used to be saying that too. But my goal for the group was, for being a part of this group, was to listen, because I don't have opportunities for these conversations and to hear these different perspectives. And so how could I change my actions, or how can I further the conversations if I'm only with my own experiences? So I wanted to share with you that while I think I'm starting to speak up more in the groups, but I am speaking up more in outside conversations and with friends and with coworkers and even with strangers. And I also have friends that I talk to a lot, and I'll say something that I mention this group all the time, and I'll say something that I've heard from somebody here, and they're like, oh, I wish I'd heard that before, like 2 weeks ago when I was talking to this friend. So like what we discuss here is just continuing to go so far beyond it because of the conversations that we are having outside of this group as well. So that's my reflection, just that I'm doing better, and my hold me accountable is to, I need to step it up. I want to step it up. I want to be more proactive in speaking out more and getting out of my comfort zone. So I'm not sure how y'all can hold me accountable for that, but if we throw it out there into the universe, then hopefully it will. You have to work towards making it come true, right? So that's it. Just a little bit of a self-reflection, and like I said, a goal for continuing my own understanding and responsibilities.
Thank you, Nancy. I love that. Ooh, the ripple effect. This is why we do it, right? Change little by little, every pebble. Christian, what would you like to share?
Thanks, Tiffany. This is my first time today, so I'm really grateful for the invitation. And so thank you, Tiffany, and thank you, Suman, for holding this space and for inviting me. And I've been super emotional since the meeting started, and it really took me by surprise because I did not expect that. And I'm always I'm always very cool and collected. I'm used to being on camera, and I do public speaking, and I'm used to holding space for other people through my empathy and but I think the reason why I've been feeling so emotional this morning is that I realized that, this past couple of years, it's been really hard to feel safe, especially on social media, and so I mask a lot, and I just stay in my little lane, and just to preserve my own mental health. It's probably white fragility, right? So I'm not really going anywhere with this, except that I'm really grateful for the space and for feeling that I can be myself here and feel safe and not feel the hostility that I often see on social media. So just grateful to be here and grateful for all of you to be here. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Christian. You know, you always have space on my calendar whenever you need it. So thank you for sharing that. Stacy, you were going to share as well?
Hi, I haven't been with the group for that long, but it feels like I've been here forever. It's just one of those spaces kind of like where everybody knows your name. And I really think it's something special that people here are really and truly authentic and vulnerable and I think that speaks to just the space that you have created, that it really, when people say it's a safe space, it's easy to say, but it's difficult to actually create something like that. And as somebody that, I don't know, walks both worlds, because I'm a Black woman in America, but I generally don't look it. I'm white passing or whatever. And I know I'm not a foundational Black American. So I have a different, more experience as an immigrant to this country. And sometimes I feel like, am I going to say the wrong thing? Am I going to say something stupid? But this space is a place that we can say the stupid things because everybody recognizes that it honestly is from a place that we're trying to learn, we're trying to do better, we're trying to make this a better place. And I just want to encourage people to continue to, you know, be real, make mistakes. It's a safe place to make mistakes because that's how we learn. I strive to fail every day because if I'm not failing, I'm not trying. So that's all I wanted to share with the group. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Stacey, that was really beautiful. Everyone who's sharing, I'm kind of on mute because I'm trying to hold it together. Y'all really know how to make us feel loved, but even more, just knowing that this community is here for everyone really makes us humbled. And I was going to say proud, but I'm more humbled that you all have given us the responsibility, I don't even know if that's the right thing, but to create this space, you know, and we welcome that and we welcome everyone to be here. So thank you. Sean, I see your hand up, and then John, I see your hand up as well.
I just wanted to thank Nancy for listening, the time she spent listening, and thank you also for summoning the courage to have that difficult conversation with the person who may not be steered in the right direction. We'll leave it at that. And I can't imagine the courage that it'll take. It's easy in this group. It's easier, I should say, in this group because we've all come here with a common purpose. So I just hope that whenever she has had one of the conversations that are more difficult, share them with us, because somewhere in this group, somebody has an answer, an appropriate response, a way to support you in this journey, because I imagine that it's not easy. So I just want to thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you all, I really do, because one of the things I've been really doing is a lot of reflecting based as a result of this transitional period that I've had transitioning out of the military as far as retirement. And then looking at the aspect of like the diversity pyramid and how things transcribe. One of the things I've seen over the years, specifically within the organization I was at, is that we looked at diversity appreciation and cultural competence at the upper level, but as far as bias reduction and achieving justice for a long-term perspective, I haven't seen that. And then we're still dealing with specific issues and so forth. that you see spilling out. And instead of just having programs and some policies and so forth that are just on the books, but they're not heartfelt, it's disheartening when you start to look back at how you want to try and impact change. And I realized the process of impact and change is it's not big leaps sometimes because people fear change, oftentimes. And so the achievability of making steps in the right direction, though they may be small, is important. And so I appreciate this venue. This is only, I think, the second, maybe the third time I've been on here, but every time I've gotten on, it's such a wealth of not just knowledge, it's just refreshing to be able to have the dialogue. And it's a no, or should I say non-attributional, or an acceptance area that's just so that you don't see oftentimes. And so you're able to express issues. And I'm sure many of us could say that I get something where every time I get on, I walk away like, it was good I was here. So thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much for those reflections. And we are continuing a little tradition we had from last year's commemoration. So I will share my screen. Can you see the wheel?
Yes. So when we, yay. So when we connected with Alex and Nikolai, we, well, let me take a step back. Last year, we put together some organizations that Tiffany and I donated money to on behalf of the community. This year, we wanted to somehow give back to Alex and Nikolai, and we asked them to share with us some organizations or, topics, things that they were passionate about. And so they sent these to us. We were going to go ahead, spin, and then wherever it lands, if anyone here knows of organizations within that theme, or Tiffany and I will do some research and get back to you, but we plan to make a donation on behalf of the community to that organization. So Tiffany.
I get to play Black Vanna. All right,
yes.
Off we go.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Yes.
Gun reform.
Gun reform. We've had recently some very powerful Friday conversations around gun violence. And so if anyone knows of organizations, please send us an email or drop it in the chat. Otherwise, Tiffany and I will do our research and we'll let you know where we are going to make a donation on behalf of the community.
Thank you, Alex and Nikolai, for sharing some causes with us. I think, there's so many different ways we can all give back. And so we just appreciate that. And I know we're coming to the end of this and that we kind of started our other activity before due to tech glitches, but we'd love to kind of close with talking about, how we can continue this, how we can explore as a community. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the Mentimeter again. So if you can plug in, how you see us committing as a group and what part you could do even maybe individually. So I know some of you already put those in. So same code, same spot. And let's just continue to think about that. And this obviously will be an ongoing conversation as we move through the next several weeks, the next year. But we all have, as Nancy described, this ability to really make impact at even an individual level. And we look forward to continuing the journey with you. Anything you would add, Suman?
No, am I muted? No, I'm on. That was beautifully said. The calls to action, we talk so much about what's happening in the world. And I shared in our breakout room, as people in general, we need the space to sit in the emotion that we're in. The idea is to move through that emotion. Otherwise, that moment of complaining or that negative moment, that pain, the hurt, the sadness is going to stick with us and end up being detrimental physically, emotionally. And so the goal is, how do we move through that in a way, and creating these calls to action can help us move through and make those positive impacts. So I'm loving everything that I'm seeing here. Sometimes people may not know what to do. What does that call to action look like? So here's some great examples of what we can do individually as we move through these journeys and these difficult conversations. I continue to be in awe of every single one of you here. I continue to be grateful for every single one of you here. I wish we didn't need this community for the topic it started with, but I am so grateful to have you all as part of my community on the smaller level connected to me. So thank you.
Yeah, these are great. I really love living our truth. And that's different for each of us at times, but I love the space we hold for each other here. And that space is here for you all any week, any Friday you want to join. For anyone who's watching on replay, everyone's welcome, as long as you're open to the journey and learning and being respectful of each other. And there's a lot of love in this group, and Suman and I are so blessed to get to do this together and with you all as well. So thank you for sharing all these reflections. We'll have lots to digest, and we'll look forward to sharing these out to you as a gift, and you can have those moving forward to think about. If you're feeling stuck, or you're feeling like this is really difficult today, I just don't even know where to start, I feel so numb. Now this can be a gift from all of you to each other, and we just thank you so much for all that you are.
So we'll post this recording on our YouTube channel. We'll include the link in the email that we send out, our thank you emails. So if you're haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We put these things, and then our guest speakers, those are the only things that we post on our YouTube channel that ever get recorded. So please join us next Friday. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. Thank you for being part of our community. Thank you for sharing, for being open and vulnerable, for Holly, your beautiful smile. It just radiates. It's, for shedding tears and allowing the space for those tears to flow. I can't say thank you enough. I wish there was more, but thank you to infinity. So thank you, everyone.
Have an amazing weekend and take care of yourselves. Good to see you all. Thanks for commemorating with us.
Yes.
Take
Thanks,
care,
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Have a
Great
great
talking to you.
weekend.
You too. Bye.